Hello, welcome back to my channel. I thought it was about time that I filmed a review for my Coach Kip bag. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I use this bag constantly. I absolutely love this bag. I want to go over like mod shots, what fits, some wear and tear. Now I got this 3 months ago from the Coach store. They actually shipped it to me. If you haven't seen my original unboxing, I ended up paying about $160 for this bag because I got it at 30% off. I went into the store, I just saw it and immediately loved it. They had white, tan, black, they still have these colors and they go on sale really frequently, so I would definitely wait. Now, what really impressed me was I was ready to buy it that day. And the sales assistant there said, hey, just so you know, we're having our Mother's Day sale next week. And if you give me your information now, I can take your address, your credit card information, and ship it to you then, but you'll get the discount. Like I would have been paying either full price that week or wait a week and get 30% off. That's a huge chunk of change. So obviously I said yes. I really appreciated that he told me that because he didn't have to. I would have never known. And I think that's really good customer service. I really appreciated that. So I did end up getting this at 30% off. Coach is, I have been debating with myself all day how much I want to go into this side of things because I do have a small collection of luxury bags and I love those bags, and I hear people frequently ask, like much bigger fish than me on the internet, like, do you love these kind of bags the same, whether you're paying under $200 for a bag or sometimes well over $2,000 for a bag? And I can only speak for myself. I feel just as good when I wear this versus when I wear my white Chanel classic flap. I would be lying if I said I treated them the same. That is the biggest difference for me. This is made of genuine leather. It's a cheaply made bag, and I'll get into that either later or at another time. But if you don't know, genuine leather is pretty much like the mystery meat of leathers. It's the salami of leathers. It's like a bunch of stuff slapped together and made to be a leather piece. Okay, it's genuine leather doesn't just mean, oh, this is real leather. It's actually kind of denoting a certain kind of leather. So I would look into that if you're not familiar. But where was I going all with this? Yes, I feel just as good when I use this versus carrying a much more expensive bag, but I don't treat them the same. I got this because I would frequently want to use my Chanel white classic flap just because I really like white bags. I feel like they look good, they look really clean and stylish, but I wouldn't want to put that one against jeans. This one, now, I've had no denim transfer, but I immediately wore it with jeans because I figured, well, you know what? If it gets denim transfer, then it happens. And ultimately, that's still just on the back of the bag. So it's not a big deal. I was willing to risk that with this bag because of the price, and I'm not willing to risk that with more expensive bags. So take that how you will. I love them both the same, but you know, I would be lying if I said I treated them the same. So let's just go over some of the features of this bag. Oh, one thing, I always want to have like a dedicated pro-con section to these videos, but it doesn't really end up making sense because you naturally go over pros and cons throughout the entire thing, whether that's like the features or what fits or, you know, so they're sprinkled throughout, and maybe I'll try to fit in some other ones that don't get mentioned already. But this is, I believe, the chalk color from Coach. It also comes in tan and black. It has a greeny gold kind of hardware. I think that's going to be really polarizing. You're either going to hate it or not mind it. I don't know anyone who loves greeny gold hardware. Let me know if you do. I don't think it's bad. I think it works with this bag. I think it also looks good with the black or the tan version. You know, it's kind of like an equestrian, very true to Coach, simple kind of satchel. It has a back pocket, which will not fit my phone on going like down the side, but it does stand up. I almost always have an old grocery list in this back pocket. In fact, like, I pulled one out right when I was filming this because this is my #1 grocery store bag. The list goes in there and I refer to it. It's really simple. It has a lobster claw clasp on both sides, has a lot of different strap options. That's a huge pro for me in a bag. I'm somewhere in the middle. If I wanted to wear this as a shoulder bag, I could make it shorter, but basically I picked the notch for me that looks good crossbody or on the shoulder, so I don't have to change it up. Inside of the bag, you just have one big compartment. It does go in on the sides. You can see like there, it has like the little wings, so it stays, you know, nice and close to your body when it's not full, but that does limit capacity. It absolutely limits capacity in a very small bag already. It has a back pocket. The inside is made of like a cotton canvas. I'm assuming it's like a cotton polyester blend. So it has that back pocket. It also has 2 slip card holders, but you can't really double up. So if you're someone who really only needs 2 cards, this will work really well for you. I'll go over what fits inside in a second. But if you didn't want to use a wallet, you could also just put your cards and cash into that back pocket. So I'm going to talk about what fits inside. I do just have cutaways to show you how everything sits, just because I feel like that's a lot faster. When I'm watching reviews, I'll sometimes just kind of squick. I can't speak today, apparently. I'll skip through a lot of the what fits. But just to tell you some of the things that I typically carry and definitely reach full capacity with this bag. The best thing is just to have a really thin card holder. It can also fit, if you need like a full-size little travel perfume, it can fit something like this, and a chapstick, and my phone, my keys, all fits in really easily. I also have, sorry, I have everything next to me. It also fits something like a French wallet or a bifold, trifold wallet. You're obviously not going to fit a continental wallet. I figured I didn't need to show that to you for you to believe me. But you have, if you just have like something like a small wallet versus a card holder, that fits in. If you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that I typically just use these like cotton pouches. I love them, especially for popping my keys, because I have that lambskin card holder that stops it from getting scratched up. I think that's part of the reason why there's no wear on this lambskin card holder. I was definitely nervous about that, but because I just use these soft, flexible cotton pouches, one, it doesn't take up any additional room in the bag, whereas those little SLG pouches or like the canvas pouches definitely take up more room. Something like this, I'll pop, let me see, I can put a little perfume, a lipstick, the Bomb.com or a chapstick, and my keys. I can fit all of that with my phone, my card holder, and you can even fit a pair of sunglasses. This is something I wanted to cover specifically because if you're someone who needs to, why can't I speak today? If you're someone who needs to fit a pair of big oversized sunnies in your bag, especially with a case, it's not gonna happen. You cannot fit this in this bag. If you have a pair of really tiny, minimal sunglasses, these are the smallest sunglasses I have. I did test it out with a couple different pairs of sunglasses. Something like this will fit. My big Tom Ford ones, they're not gonna fit. I know, I vaguely remember at some point I was able to fit a pair of big aviators in this bag, but for the life of me, I can't remember how. I don't know how I managed to configure this thing. I was trying before this video, and really, I think if it's that much work, do you even want to bother? This doesn't really matter for me because my sunglasses are on my face or on my shirt or not with me at all. So I don't really care about not being able to fit sunglasses in this. You can do it if they're very, very small. So just something to keep in mind if that matters to you. To quickly cover wear and tear, like I said, I've only had this for 3 months, so I certainly hope there is not a lot of wear and tear on this. That's why I got it. I got it so I could treat it like, well, be a little bit more comfortable being rough with it or taking it out in the rain. And there's really not a lot of wear on it at all. There are teeny tiny like pinprick like marks on a couple spots. I don't even know if they'll get picked up on the camera, but there are a couple spots right here. I can barely notice them. There's one spot right here. There are a few marks from where the lobster claw rubs against the leather. I mean, it is white, so anything is gonna show up quite dark on it. There are marks on both of these loops, but just looking at it, you'd never know. You wouldn't see anything wrong with this bag. The biggest thing that you might notice is it has a ripple right here, and it actually came like that. If this was a more expensive bag, I probably would have taken it back to the boutique to get it switched out. I'm sure that wouldn't have been a problem, but I just didn't really want to bother. Part of the reason you see it so well right now is just because of the shadows, the lights, the camera make it stand out a little bit more. I have noticed this side, you can't see it, but you can feel it. The leather is starting to bend a little bit. It's starting to curl. I don't know if that's just because I'm using it in a really humid place, like we get a lot of humidity on the East Coast here. I don't know how that will wear over time. If I have to guess, I don't think this bag is gonna look great 5 years from now. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think it will, and I think that's very much related to the fact that it's genuine leather. This isn't a very expensive bag, and it's going to wear like an inexpensive bag. So that's something. But again, just looking at it, you can see this very well on the camera, but in real life, there's nothing stand out about this bag. There's no standout wear and tear, and in fact, it's just a pretty plain, boring bag. That's exactly what I wanted. So to talk about some of the pros and cons relating to it being really boring, I think the biggest pro for me is the fact that this bag goes with everything. I tend to have a lot of cooler colors in my wardrobe anyway, because I think that's what suits me. I think this bag goes with absolutely everything in my wardrobe. When I want something that's, you know, not really noticeable, but still looks really clean and classy, I love this chalk color from Coach. If you're really nervous about a white bag, I think this is a great option. Because of the price, you'll see how easy they are to style. I love cream and white bags now, and this, I use it more than any of my other ones, you know, because of how easy it is to use, how comfortable it is. I love that it has a really thin shoulder strap, a crossbody strap, just because it doesn't distract from the rest of my outfit. Whether I'm wearing something with a lot of patterns and colors, whether I'm wearing something that's like neon, I love this bag. Or if it's just really casual and laid back, I'll have some outfits throughout this video. But I love it for that reason. The gold, like I said, it doesn't bother me, but it will be a little polarizing. It is kind of a greeny gold. I can hear the people cutting grass outside. Anyway. So I love this size. The size is going to be a huge con for people. It might not be able to fit a plus size phone. I do have those measurements, so I'll pop it down in the description box below. This and my mini reissue are two of my go-to travel bags. Even though I haven't had them for that long, they pretty much cover anything I could be wearing, anything I could be doing that day. It's nice and light and small, so if I'm walking around all day, they're not gonna bother my shoulder, because then you have black and cream. They're going to go with absolutely everything. They're good during the day, during the night. Yep, I love it as a good travel bag, and because it's small, it can fit in my luggage. Now this is really going to just come down to personal preference. The biggest con for me, since the size is in it, the biggest con for me really is the quality. Now the price is great. I think it's really good for the price, but these bags are not made in an environmentally friendly way. They are not made to last. It really is, I think, like one of the cheapest, better leather goods that you can get. I don't know if that really makes sense, but I don't think Coach has the same standard for their bags that they had, let's say, 15, 20 years ago. But I am happy with how it's held up. And I like that for the majority of the things in my wardrobe, I can afford to spend a little bit more money. I can afford to buy things that are not synthetic materials, things that are more environmentally friendly in how they're produced, how they're going to deteriorate. I've mentioned before how like I love natural fibers because you can actually compost them when you're done with them. Things like this. If you have the time and if you're interested, I would look into how different types of leathers are produced, whether that's like the different tanning processes. It is fascinating, and all of that impacts the price, how environmentally friendly it is, just the different kind of more ethical issues around fashion. It is fascinating to learn about, and I personally wouldn't want to have a ton of Coach bags. Like I said, I don't really know how much I want to go into that, but I will leave it there. I think it was worth the price that I paid. I'm using it loads, and yeah, that's all I can really say. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about this bag, I would love to answer them. It really is a great bag. If you want to see more how I style it and how frequently I'm using it, follow me on Instagram. But I am reaching for it multiple times a week. In fact, I'll often use it during the day and switch into another bag if we do go out to dinner, because yeah, I love it. It's just really user-friendly. It's way more user-friendly than, for example, my Chanel Classic Flap. So, you know, it maybe begs the question, like, why spend that much money on a Classic Flap? I don't know, that's really up to you and how excited the bag makes you. But just because it's so easy to go in and out, I love this bag for that reason. I constantly use it. It goes with everything. Yeah, I have nothing bad to say about the functionality, and how much you carry, that's gonna be individual. So you'll hopefully get an idea from the pictures I put in. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.